Look at the empty wall. See what they show and what they hide. An artist pulls a video installation from a London museum after a clash over the memory of the Bengal Famine. The dispute is over how colonial policies and administrative actions are interpreted. Who writes the caption? Who owns the frame? An artist mounts a video on a London gallery wall to speak of 43, the famine that reclaimed the mole. But historians protest, saying the blame is placed unfair over Churchill's legacy in detail showing there. The filmmaker pulls the installation, packs the reels away, leaving empty brackets on the gallery display. When the memory is heavy and the power starts to press, the curator edits history to ease the public's distress. Who keeps the clean hands and who inherits the shame? They want the architecture clean, the marble white, no dust from the archives allowed in the light. They paint the arches to keep the legacy clean and keep the famine shadow off the museum screen. History isn't plaster that you patch and file. It's the policy structure behind the sterile smile. This isn't new, it's the rhythm of the old regime. Sanitizing the portrait, polishing the dream. When the empire folded, they burned files in the yard. Operation Legacy, keeping reputations guarded. They want the gallery to keep it polite, adjusting the scale to keep the legacy bright. It's about administrative choices, exporting grain, shipping lanes open while the province felt the pain. They call it an emergency, a tragic hand of fate, to mass structural failure in a colonial state. To blame one leader lets the system go, hiding the design of how the river ceased to flow. They want the architecture clean, the marble white, no dust from the archives allowed in the light. They paint the arches to keep the legacy clean and keep the famine shadow off the museum screen. History isn't plaster that you patch and file. It's the policy structure behind the sterile smile. I think of my grandfather building with his hands. He knew you can't build a house if you deny the ground it stands on. They want a clean museum with no friction inside, where victors write the labels and the losses slide. Underneath the paperwork, names. Underneath the shipping logs, quiet fields. 3 million lives are not a detail to redact. They are the bedrock. Art's role is to hold a mirror to the state, not to serve as plaster covering the gate. Now the installation is gone, a shadow on the floor, a silent boundary drawn at the gallery door. They claim its accuracy, checking every line, but it's the ancient fear of imperial design. They swap labels to protect the name, but the geometry of hunger remains the same. The yard is walked out, left the room in the dark, because you can't build truth on a censored mark. Pulled down the art, blank the screen, but the empty wall remains, showing what occurred between. They want the architecture clean, the marble white, no dust from the archives allowed in the light. They paint the arches to keep the legacy clean and keep the famine shadow off the museum screen. History isn't plaster that you patch and file. It's the policy structure behind the sterile smile. The empty frame still hangs, but the picture is gone. You can't curate the silence, it speaks on its own. The blueprint is set, history is clear, no matter whose name they protect this year.